Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Well, fuck me sideways! Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line! You shall not pass!
Oh no, you did not shoot that green shit at me!
I have you now.
Watch the birdie!
Must go faster.
Inconceivable! Say hello to my little friend!
Come out, wherever you are.
Peekaboo!
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
It's over, Anakin! I have the high ground! Don't try it! Armor piercing, loading!
Special delivery!
Target to...
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Gotcha, bitch!
Text live. I hope you guys are doing really well. I'm over here trying to actually fix my damn camera, and I swear this thing is just driving me absolutely bonkers right now. Adjust the fade every single time. All right, here we go. Finally. All right. Thank you guys for joining me today. And before I get too far gone, I want to welcome you all to my new secret underground lair. Yeah, actually, I'll pull this off to the side. Well, you can't really see it because the light's right there, but I am actually downstairs in the office. That's what's been delaying me all this time. And so I kind of have the camera off to the side. So if I'm not staring directly at you guys, that's just the way it goes. So if it gets too much with it off, just let me know if there's anything messed up. And yeah, I know the sound, guys. I swear that thing every single freaking time. It drives me crazy. So as it stands now, first things first, I got to send out the giant thank yous to everybody. First things first, we had, you know what? I swear, deathbed question, I still don't, you got to let me know what I need for, you know what? Let's just give you one of these. Oh, yeah, sure. It's not great. It's not working. Ah, you motherless bastards. I swear. Now, since I moved everything downstairs, I have been last minute here just because, well, the camera didn't work, and it took me about 30 minutes to get this damn thing working. So everything's all sorts of screwed up right now, and I got to run this through its paces. So I will be going in first things. Thank you for the $10 super chat. And let me scroll up before I totally miss you. And it says, huzzah and hell yeah on a new series. Yes, anybody who has not seen, a new series just dropped today. Was originally supposed to be a one-off, and then I realized as I was going through everything that it is just, no, there's no way I could squeeze that much into one episode, not without turning it into a like 3-hour piece. Is what it is. And once again, thank you, Mr. I Can Fixer.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
That was what I was trying to hit before. And now here with somebody who makes us want to.
All hands to battle stations.
It's Skip with great meteorologist science news. The atomic clock is being upgraded to nuclear clocks. Oh, great. So now one more thing that's radioactive I got to hide my balls from. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Oh, man. You know what? That makes me want to take a sip of my apple juice here. And before I go too far, I'm going to add in something because honestly, I don't need to be off my freaking rocker with you guys. Although I know you guys enjoy watching me get all schmocked over. And I just realized I got, oof, that's what happens when you're running through your ass. All right. Thank you very much, Skip. And just so you know, because there's been such a delay over the past week, anybody who had weeks lined up, I didn't minus any weeks. So good to know. I also have the MTF guard, and yours is
For the Emperor!
As he said, sent you a good handful in the past 2 days. Yep. Although I'm pretty sure I may have sent 2 videos twice. One was so big, I'm pretty sure became a link. I did not see a link, and I got, let me actually add them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was it 7? The thing is, I'm counting the ones from last week as well. And so, yeah, there's 7 here. You sent me 5 over the past week. So, yeah, we'll be going into those here in a minute. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And it does definitely help the stream out something fierce, because who the hell wants to stare at me as I'm sitting here talking about the first one in line, which is there's a demonette at my door. And just so you guys know, if you haven't actually listened to it, the whole thing about there's a demonette under my table is I don't know if that's AI or something. It's catchy. It is extremely catchy. It's extremely fun. However, here's the fun part. When you actually analyze the song. Now, sometimes you analyze the song, you no longer listen to the song. Here's the fun thing. You guys realize it's about War with the Tyranids. You 40K guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The Tyranids, those giant insectoids that will eat you ass first while shoving something up your nose. They don't fuck around at all. So if you actually listen, the only ones not mentioned is the Tyranids. So they're getting ready. It's their last night of partying before they go basically strike a Tyranid hive or hive world. That's what that's about. And that's why everybody's just like, you know what? Let's get drunk and let's get laid. They're all saying the same thing that's on my shirt right now. You guys can all read that. All right. As far as Demon at my door, there's already requests for part 2. That really depends on views, guys. It really does. And I've got a lot of requests, and I'm going to be going over actually something that's come. You know what? I'll just say it. After this current series, I'm going to go back to at least do another episode of something familiar. Okay. It's literally sitting over there. If you guys want, I actually had to organize everything. It took me like 2 days to organize what's already down here, and I still got more shit to bring down. So on that note, let's see. Somebody mentioned how at the end it sounds like a double date. Well, yeah, you could say it could be a double date in a way. However, I'm sorry, but this was just funny how the date would end up bringing their dog with them. You know, a 3-headed Cerberus called Princess Buttercup. I had to read it twice because I thought my brain cooked. Thank you for the laugh. I needed that. That was just funny. And Leonid, if you want to meet Tyranid girls, you take the whole furry thing to a level I will not be going. The closest anyone made of semi-attracted was one called Shelly. And honestly, even then, you're pushing the boundaries. Oh, sorry, guys. Where the camera is, it's literally right next to the chat line. And no kidding, there's Chris going, my ex-wife was a Tyranid. Yeah, she probably chewed you to pieces every single day and then took everything you had. That's what Tyranids do. So anyway, there wasn't a whole bunch on Demon at the Door. The only thing I was trying to do with that one is like show how things can get normalized fairly quick. So anyways, on to the next one here. Oh, before that, I actually have a note here in my note in my notes. It says, and Steve sent me a thing when I was talking about a desk, and he said, hey, "Don't worry about it, Erica. No worries. You know, I'll even write you in, Erica, because he said that." Anyways, hold on. Sorry, guys, I had to break. Steve was saying how I was looking for the right type of desk, and if he was living close, he could get me a custom desk. No need. I just went out and got a standard gamer desk that's as close as I can get to what I want, and it is what it is. And you guys can't see if this thing keeps bumping me in the back, and it's driving me absolutely batty. So anyways. And yep, there's my note saying something familiar is next after this series is done, guys. Afterwards, not currently, after the series is done. Reason being, I can't do both at once. So anyways, the human ingredient. Yes, that was meant to be like a double entendre, guys. Very much double entendre on that one. And that was to make you think, what the hell's he talking about? And of course, you got the alien chef and everything. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was kind of to make you laugh, at minimum, make you chuckle, and also make you think exactly what is he talking about. And a few people actually did get the actual ingredient. I said that they could be ingested, but is usually inhaled. And not going to say too much except, dude, it's a wonderful ingredient, man. Yeah, that sort of shit. Somebody also mentioned Tabasco, and I did mention radishes. In all honesty, people think radishes are pretty, calm as far as spicy. You haven't had any fresh out of the garden. I grow radishes, okay? When I chew onto them, you get that deep, dark red. Oh, you think your mouth is on fire. I'd rather be eating jalapenos at that point. As far as the spice goes, honestly, the flavor of jalapenos isn't. Now, this one didn't have a lot of comments either. So we're going to just be moving right along, chugging all the way through. And that was supposed to come off there and change it. They decided to change us. Too bad for them. It worked. And oddly enough, this picture I've been holding on to for a long time. When we were, or I should say, when I started that Pokemon series to what would happen if Pokemon were real, not cartoon real, but real as in actual like creatures and whatnot, then this was supposed to be like the third or fourth one. And I was like, you know what? It kind of works. It changed us and it has that menacing grin. And I don't even know which Pokemon this is. I don't really care. Hold on. About to say the magic word, but it is what it is. At least I could use it. I would like to actually do the Pokemon series like that. where it's, you know, they're actually basically monsters, creatures, whatever the hell you want to call them, going around and doing what they do. You know, they're going to end up hunting each other. They're going to end up hunting us. And in all honesty, I think the thumbnail is one of the things that killed it, because all I had was I don't know, some cartoon something or other on there. I don't even know what half of the Pokemons are. For that actual, for that story, I only had like maybe 3. And I mentioned like 2 or 3 more. And I had to, I can't call them by their name. I have to be vague about them. But I had to look them up. Just like with the 40K guys. So anyways, before I fall down the rabbit hole here, I'm falling down. I'm falling down. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm out. All right. I got stuff scattered all over now, guys, so it takes me a second to hit the buttons. It was brought up that this could tunnel into a new series. And with the new technology from the ships that were captured, yes, it can. Absolutely can. And this actually did pretty good. It's not doing quite well enough. However, I wouldn't mind actually doing or continuing this series. However, one at a time. I just started one. I got something familiar to work on. And if you guys don't mind, I'm going to actually just do that series and get the saga done with, because I don't have that much more to go. And I guarantee you guys are going to like the end. I'm not going to tell you anything, and no, I'm not hinting. You know, hinting like Quagmire.
Giggity, giggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
So anyways, I also did this one in third person, and I did ask you guys if there was any issues, and you guys said it was good. So I might do more in third person. It's just not going to be common. All right. Again, not a lot of comments on that one, so we're just going to move on to somebody's tweaking like humans. This one I had to rush a little bit. This was going to have a bit more to it. And I have to, I got to stop because someone's rolling in. Oh. And why'd I even write that? You're up here. Okay. It's a $10 super chat from Brian Kemp. He's the big boss man, says, just finished dinner. Hello, everybody. Enjoying the stories. Thank you, Brian, for joining us. I'm going to put this down so I can just talk to you straight. Brian decided to send me some actual physical stuff through the mail. Yes, Brian, I got it. It was delicious. I'm not done. Part of it's tomorrow. And my nephew started yelling at me saying he wanted certain parts for his lunch. And, well, when I started tasting how good it was, this was my answer.
How about no?
Yeah. It's just, yeah. He's one of these younger kids. He doesn't understand like the rest of us do. If there's food there, yeah, you take the leftovers, but there has to be leftovers. You don't just tell somebody they can't have seconds when they're still hungry with the food because, oh, I want that for tomorrow. No, it's not how that works. So, yes. And Brian actually got 12 weeks shout outs on that, guaranteed. So even if you don't throw anything in here, Brian, which I do appreciate, not going to ask. But regardless, you are getting your shout outs, and you're already pushed all the way to the top. So you get yours first. So anyway, thank you very much. I'm talking over my words here because now that I'm kind of cramped in here because of this green screen, it actually reaches so high that I got to tuck it in with the rafters. All this electronics is just bleeding heat towards me. Oh, I'm dying here. So anyways, thank you again, Brian and Guard and Skip and Question. Very much appreciated. All of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I keep putting stuff down. I shouldn't be putting it down. Okay. Tweaking Like Humans. This one, guys, this was mainly for the veterans. And as you guys know, the way this operated was real simple. And I'm going to just say this. Somebody put in the comment section that they expected a Ruby-Roo, as in a Scooby-Doo mystery, until the twist happened. And you guys know, just like the Twilight Zone, which I grew up on, as much as people didn't want me to actually watch it, I grew up on it. There's always a twist. And sometimes there's more than one. So just be ready for that. But anyway, all the vets were laughing. Everybody said they were laughing their ass off about the MRE preservatives. And I'll tell you, here's the fun part. And if Erica's here, she knows this very well. And I'll let you know, Erica, if you cracked open an MRE, you're going to smell the same thing as if you opened Fancy Feast. It's the exact same preservative as cat food. And we got somebody coming in. Oh my God, we're going to be hit by a demon. As he drops a $20 super chat in, says, hi, everybody. It is on the 7th of September, the new guy becomes full-time. So hopefully I can come back full-time to the live after that. Also, Sin, sorry, I never sent you the clips. They got corrupted and I lost them, sadly. Miss you guys. Take care, everybody. Everybody send some love to the demon out there, as he has a very, I swear, every time I see that skinny little succubus you got there. And yes, there are certain things that tell that it's a succubus besides being female. The wings being low and the shape of the horns. And the fact that the tail is certain things give that away. So anyway, let me write this down. All right. Thank you very much, Demon. Very, very much appreciated. And everybody else too. And make sure you send them some love. All right. Talking in circles, guys. Talking in circles. All right. As far as tweaking like humans. Okay. Mentioning how somebody's dad called the meals rejected by Ethiopians. Not only did I laugh, but when I actually got air back in my lungs, I went over and talked to my dad and I told him about that. And the man has very little of a sense of humor and he's even laughing. Okay. So yes, that was freaking funny. That was really funny. Oh, too much apple juice in that. Now, somebody actually mentioned the long-term effects of modification was actually mentioned in here too. Yeah, I'm going to be touching on that more in stories. Basically because genetic alteration is on the skyline and it's a lot closer to us right now than people want to admit. Very much so. So yes, I'm going to be talking about that a whole lot more. That being said, that's the end of those comments. Guys, that was actually really 23 minutes. We went through everything for the week. Granted, it's been a slow week. I'll freely admit that. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Get some! Yeah. That one is the first in the series. So if you guys have not actually listened to that, please do so within the next 24 hours. Greatly appreciated, mainly because it helps the algorithm. But enjoy it at your own leisure. And I say that because we also have a few other folks in here. We got Rop in here. And we've got a few more people dropping in comment sections or dropping in comments in the stories, which I very much appreciate. Guys, it helps the channel out. Even if you don't do anything except hit a like and do a quick comment, even if it's to tell me I fucked up. You know, you're not going to cause too much
emotional damage
because I can't get better unless you guys tell me where I fuck up. All right. On that note, before I move on to the next line of business, let's watch ourselves the first clip of the night if I can find it here. Did we do that one? Where was it? Oh God, I forget which number we were on. Shit. Nope, there's that one was the Duke Boys. So this one. Oddly enough, 10 gauge shotgun shell will do that to the human body. The thing is, 10 gauge shotgun shells are illegal in the US unless you have an FFL. I know you can't buy them in the state. All right. Switching over to movies that are coming on. Guys, these movies coming out are so bad, I don't even want to put them up on the screen. You got Avengers Doomsday. And all they're trying to do is the DC Crisis on Infinite Earth, guys. I mentioned it last week, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but that's all it is. These guys are desperate to keep the ball rolling, to keep the status quo. They do not understand that things are dynamic. Pretty soon, you might find Westerns coming back. You might find sci-fi to be coming back. You might find horror makes a huge comeback. I don't know what's going to be the next one, but it goes in cycles. People will watch something for a while and then it gets a little boring and they move on to the next genre. It's just what happens. They just have to take a break. Even if they take a break for only like 3 or 4 years, it'll be enough. But I mean, I don't mean take a break as in that's how long it takes to make the movie. I mean, take a break, start with the actual writers, not some asshole you got out of school because he's a friend of your nephew's brother's cousin's roommate. No, that's bullshit. And that's what we end up getting is, and I know you guys are some of you are going to hate me for this, but I personally think that the majority of college degrees are worthless as hen shit on a fence post. It is sad how bad those degrees are for actually doing a freaking job. And it's just there as a money-making scam. Now, are there certain degrees that you need, absolutely freaking need, in order to get into whatever job it is? Absolutely. 100 freaking %. If you want to get into, say, the oil fields to actually test all that, you need petroleum analysis and all the other ones, plus you need agronomy. Most people don't get into that. They don't realize how important that one is. So you might need certain certifications, like if you want to be a dentist or a doctor or something. Sure, anything in the STEM fields, absolutely. Anything else can kiss the darkest part of my ass repeatedly. You know what? I'm going to even say the darkest part of my ass because it's so full of shit that these guys are. It's crazy. All right. But yeah, Avengers Doomsday. I'm sorry, making Dr. Doom another version of Tony Stark, that takes a piss on the entire character of Dr. Doom, not just Tony Stark. It is so bad. Dr. Doom is one OP motherfucker. The only thing that stops him from literally breaking the fabric of the universe is the fact that he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to destroy everybody. He just wants to be exalted. He just wants to fix the scar on the side of his face. At one point, he just wanted his mother back. That was friggin' taken from him at a young age. I can't fault somebody for that. Why? Because that fucking sucks. Some of us know how bad that one is. And yeah, especially if they're taken at a young age, of course you want him back. And he's a certifiable genius, certifiable evil genius, but he's a certifiable genius. But Victor Von Doom was not Tony Stark. They gotta stop. This is as bad as the race swapping bullshit that they keep doing. Speaking of which, let's move right into the Odyssey. Holy fucking donkey balls. That thing is crazy. Okay, it is slinging hot trash. I mean, it's crazy. They say the only way to fix it is if they superimpose somebody like Sydney Sweeney in there as Helena Troy. That won't happen because certain people, fuck you. don't bitch when your movie tanks because you don't know that people want certain things and what it is ain't you. Oh my God. I mean, I walk into rooms where people say how great it is, and I just wonder how many assholes are in there. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Okay, I need to take a break. I actually gotta pull up another. God dang it. I was trying to actually get something else started up here so I can keep talking. But anyway, let me take a sip of my black cherry flavored apple juice. And we have Skip with a $10 super chat. Oh, come on, you jerk. It's not going on. Okay, here we go. As he said, Sin, you are correct. College degrees are going tits up. My niece has a master's in journalism and is only getting menial jobs, which is true for the majority of them. I mean, it's absolutely freaking crazy. I know somebody personally who got a degree in natural resources management. To actually get a decent job, she had to go back and get a master's degree in a completely different subject. When I went to school, I tried to college. Yes, I did go. I fell into the trap. Oh God, it's a trap. That's what I fell in. Sorry, it took me a second to get the button. And I went for green energies, renewable energies, and things of that nature. They didn't give a shit. Nobody in the college gave a shit. And to this day, nobody gives a shit. That degree means absolutely nothing. It's just, it's enough to make you start pulling your hair out, but my hair's too short. I can't pull it out. And but here's the fun thing. I wanted to understand energies that did not require fuels. I learned more from YouTube and, God help me, Alex Jones than I learned from years in college. Okay? It's just, no, I'm sorry. And we got the MTF guard.
For the Emperor!
I don't know, got bored. I might not be here next week for the next stream, so that's just in case. Okay. Hey, it's appreciated. What do you got? Am I really that boring, guys? I'm that boring? Oh, fuck me. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, sorry about that. I want to get more. Again, I'm working on putting everything together. So, and unfortunately, I don't have a co-host or anything. I can just run things across. So it is what it is. But I see Leonid here saying people can probably do decent independent journalism. You listened to that story earlier, didn't you? I kind of went over that, and yeah, I put a little bit of my personal feelings in there. So, anyways, oh yeah, God damn it! I almost forgot to hit Skip's button here.
All hands to battle stations.
All right. Now, as far as the Odyssey goes, thankfully it is dying. Okay, it is dying. It's spinning in because the tail's on fire, flat spin. Nobody can actually even eject without killing themselves. So let it crash, let it burn, let them die. So fuck them. Fuck them in the ass with a telephone pole covered in concertina wire. Oh, wait, that's their Tuesday. Just take away their lube. It might actually hurt. All right, before we move on to the video games, one more video. You know, I didn't even watch that before I put that up. You guys sent them in, and I've been so backed up, it's crazy. All right, now we found out that Woke has completely destroyed. There is no coming back. Okay, multiple reviewers have gone over the numbers. There is no coming back from this. Both Marathon, which we all know is DOA, that's done. They're still pumping. They're literally hitting it with the paddles by throwing money at it. It's done. It's dusted. It's out. They might as well just put it on a boat, set it on fire, and let it drift off into the night. It's done. Over. All right. And then Elder Scrolls. Now, I know people like Elder Scrolls, but that one, they've lost so many of their normal folks that it's just crazy. It's absolutely moronic how many people they've lost because they decide to go woke. And it's terrible. It's terrible to watch an entire serial be destroyed like that. It really is. And I'm not even a gamer. So on a positive note, hold on, let me get a sip here. On a positive note, Fortnite has decided to give woke one of these, shocker, but one of these. And they have said, we are going to keep with the big, strong guys that the women like seeing and the guys want to pretend to be. And then we're going to, I just read your message. I'll look at it early. Okay. But Fortnite has decided to also double down on the attractive females by bringing in not one, but two, count them, two characters from the DC Comics, which would be Pamela Isley and Harleen Quinzel, also known as Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. And I looked at their character designs, and yes, they did not fuck this up. Thank you, God, they did not fuck this up. Because if they had fucked this up, I guarantee somebody would have gone down there and just squeezed their neck until their eyes kind of popped out of their head with this little ooze. I mean, it's just crazy. It's so. Anyways, I'm glad they're actually doing this right. And God damn it. All right. Guard, apparently you said you were not you won't be here next week, and that's for next time. I got that part. Why can't I freaking talk? Anyway, now here's the fun part, guys. If I ever get to the point where I end up reading out, I've actually written most of it, the DC comic story, you're going to find out that that's one of the things that I started doing because the character I wrote does this. He always calls the characters by their actual name, in particular villains. Like, he will actually see the Joker and call him Jack because he knows his real name is Jack Napier. He will call, again, he won't say Poison Ivy, he calls her Pamela. And, Harleen, was it Killer Frost? Was Louise? I forget what Giganta's name is off there. And there's certain characters that he enjoys being around for one reason or another. But one of the key things about this, and I'm going to tell you guys about I don't know if you guys remember about this. The character itself is a genetic experiment. He's supposed to be an anti-superhero weapon. But what they did is they scrambled so much stuff into his body that even though it should have killed him, they were trying to see how far they could push him before they killed him. He literally got too angry to die. The problem is he was so sedated and he couldn't get when he's unconscious, he doesn't have access to some of his abilities. And because he's an experiment, just kind of like the Hulk isn't perfect, Bruce Banner had to refine himself before he became Professor Hulk. This guy, again, needs to be refined a bit before he can become himself, but he never gets refined. He doesn't want to be. But he reaches out mentally and he talks to Ace. Now, Ace, as far as I know, she does not have an actual name. They just call her Ace. Because of her mental ability, she can hear him screaming. And he's not just screaming in pain, he's screaming for help. So she hears this. She can't, because of all the blockers around, she can't actually reach out and take someone's mind because they're all wearing helmets to actually block her stuff. She at that point, she hasn't actually got to the point where she can like morph walls or anything like that. She's not telekinetic yet. So what does she do? She mentally reaches out to Galatea, Supergirl's clone. And Galatea ends up breaking them both out. And because of that, they end up kind of on the run. Long story short, Ace ends up becoming more herself. She learns to actually manage her powers, and she goes off to live her life, which is kind of the point of that, me working with that character. Galatea, however, they want her back. She's a very expensive super weapon, and so is he. Their mistake was going after her before they went after him. If they had gone after him first, yeah, they would have felt some pain, but they would have got her back. His body, when he senses danger, will activate an energy shield around him. It's strong enough where it will take any type of impact. The thing is, kinetic force will still rattle his intestines around. So when he gets tossed around, he's still sitting there going, okay, that hurts. Because he just felt his heart knock his spine and then hit his sternum. So anyways, after bad things happen, he flips out, and that actually maxes his power, and suddenly he realizes he can jump dimensions. Basically, he can jump from comic book to comic book. And because he jumps from comic book to comic book, and the way his mental acuities are, just like Jean Grey's daughter thinks she's another species. She will slowly morph into that species. She thinks she's younger. She will get younger. She thinks she's older. She will become older within hours, sometimes minutes. You know, that's just the way that works. So this character is several hundred years old by the time you actually first see him. And he ends up knowing everybody. He's seen everybody in every different one. Just like he knows Lex Luthor's lady was her security guard named Mercy. He actually like flirts with her bad. But when she first sees him in that dimension, that's the first time she's seen him. She doesn't know he's like, he wants a piece of that. He wants to get himself some. Hold on. But what usually ends up happening is people are freaked out. God, oh man, this thing is lagging. So hopefully it's not lagging too bad where you guys are. I've had some issues with the computer lately. Anyway, to put it into perspective, when Mercy actually goes up, taps him on the shoulder and says, Mr. Luthor wants to talk to you. He turns around, sees her, goes, Mercy, grabs her by the waist, picks her up and goes, oh, it's so good to see you. And she's just sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this guy just pick me up? Is he not afraid of assassin like me? No, he's not. He's not, because in the previous dimension he was in, they were actually really good friends. And possibly more, but that's never actually said. So anyways, that's enough of me down this rabbit hole. I keep falling down the rabbit holes, guys. I'm sorry. I'm climbing out. I swear. All right. Before we move on to everybody's comments, I'm going to go into this one. Okay, that's a double. Oh, okay, yeah, it is a double. Hang on. Let me get rid of that. And okay, here's a short one, and I guess you could name this one, Don't Do That. So, yeah, don't do that. All right. Let me scroll up here. And I guess we'll stop here where Brian came in. Oh, no, I'll go up a little higher. Whoa, shit. Something. I hate when this thing fucking jumps, guys. I'm sorry. This thing is it drives me absolutely bonkers when it does. Okay. Let's see. Skip saying your digital watch is covered by atomic clocks, aka a timing signal our government sends out at 10 to 5 megahertz and other frequencies. Yeah. Wait a minute. I see people saying no sound. Hopefully the sound didn't kick off at one point. Kind of weird. See, Leon saying, Anakin, I have the low ground. I've learned this trick from the droid general. Okay, yeah, not the best people you want to be learning from. Okay, yep. Chris, you got me. I fall into this one.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
As he says, so you went downstairs. You got me. Is what it is. Deathbed up here. Sorry, yeah, I'll send you the logo and you can also get it from my Bandcamp page. Okay. And Chris also says, oh, by the way, the three Gorges Dam is I keep mispronouncing it. Is it Gorges or Georges? Has 60-meter crack, which is leaking water through it. If it breaks, it will be bad. Yeah, no kidding. Everybody downstream is pretty much fucking dead. It's biggest dam on the freaking planet because, we have to be so much greater than everybody else. We need to suddenly have the biggest. Yeah, but if you have the biggest and it's not rigid, you can't do anything with it.
Swing.
So, yeah. And yeah, me saying that, hold on. I got to give myself one of these.
You are fined 1 homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code Morality Statute.
But my comment still stands. It just doesn't stand erect. All right. Let's see. Douglas asks how I'm doing. I'm doing okay. Leonid and his Tiernig girls. He likes the buggies. I'm sorry, but if I'm dating somebody, the last thing I want is a bug. Okay? Especially if you end up finding out they got a bug you can't get rid of. War Sniper saying how his head hurt. Well, not much I can do about that. I actually probably need some surgery myself. He also says, I try to stay active till after the stream and then sleep. So you go out, listen to the stream, and you're going out walking, listen. I don't know how that's going to work. All I know is I either got to get myself on some sort of regiment or just say, fuck it, go to the gym, even with a fucked up shoulder. Chris saying, hang in there, bro. Just get to feeling better. Yes. Sometimes you need a little extra to feel better, but hopefully you don't need extra. You can just get it done. Doug is saying, Chris, is a more evil, chaotic, evil succubus. Just evil. I never did finish the succubus story for the backyard type thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and fix it one time. See, Lena says, some Pokemon. Yeah, I will continue to call it that. Pokemon is based on the ghost stories in its Pokédex. Look, I'm not going anywhere near anybody's Pokédex ever. I mean, that's just wrong. I mean, if anybody sits there and whips out their Pokédex, I'm
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
So yeah, you keep your Pokédex to yourself. Hopefully you guys get the joke. All right, Sniper Citizens, some gaming news. Okay, Pal World has 900,000 active players at the moment. 1.0 is a great success, and they have beaten the makers of Pokemon Pal World, given what the customers wanted. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You give folks what they want, what they ask for, and you can't go wrong. I try to do that with you guys. I got limited time, but I try to do what I can. And it is what it is. So And speaking it, while I'm doing that, let me see if I can't get another one on standby here. All right. Guard also says nothing's a better wake up in the morning than biting into a fresh radish. Really slugs your tongue. Yes, it does, actually. Something about the root vegetables that really actually come in strong. Let's see. Rob says, just listening. Sorry. Well, I don't know why you're sorry. Most people just listen to podcasts anyway. Although I keep getting notices on my board here. And Doug is saying how he prefers green onions to radishes. Well, I don't have any green. Well, I have chives on the tops of my onions, which came out pretty good. Some of them are just starting to bulb out. Hopefully they get nice and big, something I can really grab onto and also put all over the pizza. Speaking of which, Rob says they're cooking dinner. So yeah. And speaking of which, guys, now when Brian sent that unbelievably good stuff, right before it got to us, I had went out and actually got some steaks because we hadn't had steak in the house in a while. So I cooked that on the grill, and my dad made potatoes. I shit you not, just fresh mashed potatoes with sour cream, butter, and fresh sliced green the green tops of the onions, the chives. Holy fuck, guys. No salt, no pepper, no nothing. It was fucking delicious. You should try it. And as far as the steak went, dry rub with pepper and garlic salt. That's it. Doesn't have to be super heavy. Just put on fairly heavy, just a little bit heavy at the beginning. Dry, rub that shit in and then grill it. Ooh. Damn. Makes me almost wish we didn't have pork chops and everything else for dinner. All right. Guard says, well, congratulations with the changed US video because that picture has officially creeped me out for the rest of the week. Okay. Sniper Ups here says, Ensign, you have to work on the story of the healer major with gun. Well, he's not really a major with guns. He's a doc. Is going to enter my Dragon's Realm next season. Remember? Yeah. Again, those just take a long time to write. And I got multiple series lined up. I got the series I'm on. I got something familiar. And by the way, you guys want to see something interesting on something familiar? I'll show you interesting. Hang on. Let me maneuver here. And while I was actually getting everything cleaned up, I kid you not, guys, when it comes to something familiar, this is the file. I'm not even joking. That thing is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. And that's just the writing. Okay. And I might be missing some parts too. That's how much it takes to write it. So that's what I'm just saying, guys. It takes a while for those. I mean, you guys don't need to see the soundproofing behind. And do not look at the man behind the curtain. Do not pay him any mind. All right. It seems like I'm just getting squished in here. Oh, God damn. All right. Let's see. Guard says, no clue why. Hold on. But it just makes me feel uncomfortable staring at it. Oh, you talking about this thing up here? I can change that. If that's going to mess you up, how about something, I don't know, much more. There you go. Much better to look at than me. If I can get this damn thing to work. Okay. And yes, Brian, I did very much enjoy it. And we're actually tomorrow having the pork stew meat, basically. Although we're not putting in a stew, it's pre-seasoned. Excuse me. We're probably just going to put it on top of mashed potatoes and serve. And Guard talking about Demon, he says, haha, and here comes Demon to triumph over everyone with the donations this week. I almost said dominations. Haha. See, Douglas, I would happily be gene modded if it heals me and makes me live longer. Yeah, I got no problems with that. I don't know why anybody actually has a problem with that. The only people that would have a problem with that is either A, they are able to control a group by usually fear, saying that you must, bend the knee because you're not going to live longer, or it's fate, or however that's going to go. Or people that are pissed they're going to lose money. If you get healed, pharmaceutical industry takes a big hit. Okay? It's just that simple. It's all about the money. Always has, always will. If anybody thinks they can fight me on this one, you're welcome to fucking try. But no freaking way are you going to beat me on it. It is what it is. Anyways, as far as gene modded, here's the kicker. Is they literally what is the okay? I'm blinking out. Am I still blinking out? What's going on here? On my end, it blinked. You guys got to let me know. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking genes while what the hell? Let me know if we're still good in the chat box here, because it blinked. But anyway, as far as the modifications, they can't just upgrade one part of you. They have to upgrade all of you. So if they upgrade the muscle, they have to upgrade the tendons. They have to upgrade the bones. They have to upgrade the joints. They have to do everything. So be aware of that, because that's just the way that works. That being said, if they upgrade you to the point of, you have to walk a different way, think it's really, why is this blinking out on my end? I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm trying to get more pictures up here. That might be it. Anyway, Christ. All right. Anyway, I was here somewhere. Anyway, as far as gene, you actually put molded, gene modded, as in modification. It's CRISPR tech. We have the technology. We're just not allowed to use it. The only people that are allowed to use any of that is the people in Hollywood who are making all their pretty actresses turn into this pen, because there's nothing to them. They're all on Ozempic. No, it's more than that. It's much more than that. So yeah, as far as gene therapy and stuff like that, I don't see a problem. I never have. And that's the thing. People have always looked at me weird. Even as a kid, I've said, it's perfectly fine. What the hell are you talking about? And what they do a lot of times with some of these stories is they try to give you the most depressing pile of donkey shit that they have got going, because it is terrible. It's the same thing with all these stories about, oh my God, you became immortal, and oh my God, it's so horrible. That's like hearing, oh, you won $1 billion in the lottery. Oh my God, your life is going to be so horrible. Fuck you. Seriously. Go fuck yourself. You don't want the money. You feel bad having it. Give it to me. I'll take care of it. Jeez. Oh no, I can't go anywhere without security. Oh no, what a nightmare. You end up dealing with girls like this behind me, who the only thing they want is you to stick around so that they can enjoy the lifestyle, at least for a while, and maybe get themselves pregnant so they can enjoy it even longer. I take a girl like this over here as a surrogate, hey, have my kid. I'll pay you X amount of money for it. It's just, but it's just all these things are trying to make the best things possible look bad, because they don't want to lose the status quo. And all I can say on that is go fuck yourself, because every time I realize it's one of those stories that I'm listening to, especially when I'm driving, I just scream, God damn it, all the time. and I downvote the video and I try to block the channel. So anyways, we got War Sniper over here adding on. Oh, no, wait, I jumped one. Guard here's. Oh, by the way, with the videos, if you're going to use the boss fight videos I sent you first, just a heads up, the guy with the white jacket is first phase, and then the other part with the cool attack is second. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'm not, let me look at the media. I think I see one as a boss fight. I think the other one's a joke. I haven't gone through them. Again, you see them, a lot of them, same time I do. Because except for the naval ones, they come in, the audio's fixed. You guys do a really good job. And it'd be nice to get the actual response. So anyways, over here, War Sniper says, even if I would not mind going true CRISPR or using the tech that makes us not becoming older anymore. Yeah. It's called infinite regeneration. It's quite literally what Wolverine has. He regenerates to a point where he rejuvenates. Regeneration and rejuvenation are not the same thing. They're just really, really close. If you constantly rejuvenate, you would not regenerate very fast. You would just heal at the speed of a young person, like early 20s or late teenager or something like that. You would just heal very quick, but you could still be all fucked up afterwards. Okay. I guess all the apple juice in there. And yes, I have to say it that way because of friggin' YouTube. I think most of it was on the bottom. Top it off here. It won't be so hard. And yes, I just realized I just said I got something hard and I'm drinking it, so I'm putting it in my mouth. I get it. I already gave myself one homo suspicion point. I'm not going to give myself another one. Guard says, I mean, hey, at least we all know I have a quick trigger finger in the game. Yeah. Yeah. I think he's talking about the shotgun blast of the chest that made the guy go splat. And since the body is what, 83% fluid, you know, it doesn't take, well, it does take a lot, but once you reach that critical mass, the whole body explodes like a water balloon. Not that I would know anything about that. Not at all. Guard says, I have some hope for Avengers Doomsday. But the key word is some, because I already know they're going to do what they do with every Marvel movie nowadays. Yeah, they bend it over and shove something up its ass. That's what they do. I ought to put a sign there that says Marvel movies and, you know, Marvel Studios with the guy with the horn. Let's see. He continues with Dr. Doom. Oh, hold on. Dr. Doom is going to deliver belt to ass to everybody for 3/4 of the movie, and then they're going to rip a hero out of their ass that has never been seen on the big screen. Probably Sentry or something, or along those lines, because the superhero serum, excuse me, there's like 6 of them. Red Skull was the prototype. Captain America was the refined. They had the Soviet serum, the Hydra serum, the, I don't know, some sort of USA serum or something like whatever the hell that was. And then there was the Sentry serum who actually created Sentry. And they found that one to be so powerful that they destroyed everything. They destroyed the serum. They destroyed the notes. And they made it so anybody who even starts will get shot. So, yeah. So, yeah, if they do that, but here's the thing. If they bring in Sentry, Sentry is a big, brawny blonde. Can you imagine what they're going to put in for these woke Marvel movies? My brain already hurts. I am burning up because of the apple juice in my soda. But yeah, What the fuck? Lena says, people can probably do a decent. Okay, I read that one before. Guard continues with, but the bigger twist being that everybody who reads the comic knows, god damn, well, that character stands not even any hair on your ass a chance against Doom, but manages to beat him anyway. So basically, they're going to pull a Rey Skywalker. Yeah, Rey Palpatine. I got to say it right because that's her actual birth name. She is Palpatine's granddaughter. She is not a Skywalker. She's never been a soy worker or whatever the fuck. She's just another one of these laser dildo waving schmucks. And since she's female, she should have one in each hand because that's what they've been doing. And since she falls into one of the Sith, as soon as she becomes one, she uses a double-ended laser dildo because the rule of two. Again, you guys have heard these jokes before. Oi. All right, Guard says they're doing what they did to the comics where they had one universe where Tony Stark is actually Dr. Doom because of a mind swap experiment. What the ever-loving fuck?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Sorry, wrong button.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
That's beyond ridiculous. Okay, I know they work with some crazy tech, but that's beyond just straight up idiotic. Leon says, did someone said the Grok would make a accurate Odyssey movie? I've actually heard people say that, and actually Grok got whoever's in charge decided to block people from making a CGI Odyssey movie based on the original because people were making it and they were posting on YouTube, and then they had to block a bunch of them. I think there's one or two still out there. But we'll see. Let's see. Chris says Elliot Page is the only one who can save Elder Scrolls. I've heard people say that. I don't know much about Elliot Page, so I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm just going to not touch that one. Doe says, squeeze their heads like Jason did in Friday the 13th. Oh, shit. I've only seen one person actually pull off that move where you come up behind two guys and it conk their heads together and down they go. Believe it or not, it will make somebody drop. It's the sudden shake of the head. Your equilibrium just goes to shit. Down you go. You might be able to get up after a few seconds, but you're going to be dizzy as all fuck. Chris says, I've been to Comic-Cons. Me too. I went to one Comic-Con, New York City Comic-Con. I had a fucking blast. Okay. I enjoyed every part of it. It will the exception of not finding any place to sit. I actually sat and watched one of the panels I didn't want to watch because there was only that one area to sit down. Everywhere else you had to stand. Even when you're eating, you had to stand up. He says, I've been to Comic-Cons. I've seen Poison Ivy and Harley Quinns as big as houses and with beards. All right. You know, you just opened the can of worms. You're probably at.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Because when I went to Comic-Con, if I didn't laugh at this, I would have cried. As I'm leaving, I'd been there for about maybe 10 hours already. There were still people coming in. I passed one of the sweetest sights I've ever seen in my life. There was a woman dressed as Wonder Woman. She was tall. She was pretty. The only thing she was lacking was the chesticles to actually be Diana Prince. And then you had this little girl. She couldn't have been more than 4 years old. I don't even know if she was that old. She saw this tall one and she ran up, and they're both dressed as Wonder Woman. And she goes up and gives this tall girl a hug. And it was one of the sweetest things in the world. I get to the exit. As I'm leaving, There's a guy with so much chest hair, you would think that he's wearing a sweater. In a Wonder Woman outfit, the guy must be had an extra 70 pounds around his gut alone. And he's smiling and laughing, and I just about retched. And I've seen things in Combat Zone that will make most people want to just claw their eyes out. And this was enough for me to want to puke. So yes, I've seen that shit, and just no, okay? The kicker is, we were just talking about genetic alteration, CRISPR. How many of these guys would alter themselves to look like fucking Wonder Woman? It's kind of a creepy thought, because if I went out on a date, I'd be like, oh, you're a woman. Yeah. Born or built? That would be my question. Born or built? And they'd kind of look at you. And of course, if they get upset, you know, okay, built, I'm going to leave now. Goodbye, sir. And I don't care if they've inverted your windsock, dude. No, I'm not doing that. Okay. It's not me. It's not where I would go. I mean, even with the people showed a life-size 3D, not model, but kind of like a statue of an Aragonian or something from Elder Scrolls, or not Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. And I was like, maybe, but I need a hell of a lot more of these, okay, to get to that point. You're talking about drinking up a 2 into a 6, you know. It's just, so yeah, you got to be careful. And remember when I did that story, you know, change the acronym from GILF to Ha-cha-cha or whatever. You know, you couldn't tell who was what age. You know, this is some weird shit would happen, guys, at least for a good decade or two, if that became, or I should say, when that becomes full mainstream. Now, granted, some people are going to put themselves into the poorhouse. And hold on, I got to say the magic word. But they will do it. If they have to sit there and work for another 30 years, they're going to do it. Sounds like someone's leaving. All right. I'm making sure I don't fall down the rabbit hole here. Let's see. Guard says, have you guys seen the memes of people interpretation of how Asha, the current CEO of Xbox, got Todd Howard, the CEO of Bethesda, to actually make a video game? I have not seen that. I have not seen that at all, man. Not one bit. So he says, there's also many of them were, it's just the one scene from Invincible where Omni-Man is beating the hell out of Mark. But it has her face on Omni-Man and Todd's face on Mark. Oh, shit, that's funny. That is funny. He continues, which, to be honest, may as well be it, because she pretty much threatened to sack him and make sure he never gets another job at another gaming network again. I wouldn't be surprised. Some of these people are just straight up evil. Straight up evil. So, anyways. Man. Let's see. Continues because, as the meme from Smiling Friends goes, Todd was pulling, it is my IP to sit on and do nothing with both Fallout and Elder Scrolls. Oh, boy. Well, I know Fallout fell apart, and we were just going through Elder Scrolls, how that went woke and is just kind of crawling and just dying. Uncomfortable sitting here, guys. I'm on a folding chair right now. I need to buy a new one. But anyways, he says, but now we're getting a remake for Fallout 3 and New Vegas. And they're finally actually putting effort into making Elder Scrolls 6 instead of letting one kid, instead of not 12, one kid work on it and not 12 of you. Okay. Oh, I see where he's going with that. He's saying we can work on our own character instead of a panel of folks. Okay. Hey, we'll see if they can pull it out. As far as I know, Elder Scrolls is pretty much fucked. As far as Fallout, it's not totally dead yet. Alan says, you're good. Would sound since the first part of the intro. Okay. And by the way, I've tried to fix that like 4 times. The last part where it goes black and then all you hear is something's not right. I couldn't fix that. For some reason, it just won't change. Lena says, I think I have watched 2 different anime series with the character that smokes cigarettes now. One of them is a chain smoker cat, which you guys had me in hysterics about last week, and I still haven't had a chance to sit and watch it. The anime probably has no limits. And the second anime was about a frustrated office worker who likes to go to the supermarket and visit the cashier girl he likes. That cashier girl is playing with him when she is pretending to be a different person during her smoke break. He can't see that it's her, that it's actually her. Okay. I saw a thumbnail about that. I haven't seen it. I really, guys, I barely had a chance to even look at some of the anime that's coming out, and I'm so far behind. It's only like 3 or 4 episodes in for this season, and I am like 2 episodes behind on all of them. It's crazy. Guard saying, oh my God, I actually forgot. I sent that video of the guy getting curve stomped in the nuts because he had the bright idea of lighting them on fire. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost stomping on your balls. Every single one of us laughing our ass off, and you groaning on the floor. I don't know. I'm not. I know people who are better at making stuff up on that than I am. So don't kill me on that one. But anyways, yeah, you want to talk about bright idea. Here's a fun one, and I hope one day somebody actually brings this up to them. We're out at the EIB course, Expert Infantryman's Badge, and I am falling asleep on a cot. It's been a long day, and their idea was to keep us out in the field the entire time to try and motivate us to all get the badge. Well, I feel my cot jostling a little bit, so I wake up and I'm like, what's going on? They said, oh, don't worry about it, go back to sleep. Anybody hurt? No, go back to sleep. So I went back to sleep, and then I wake up to hear water pouring, and a bunch of us do, and a guy just starts yelling and screaming and cursing. The silly fucker had taken a chem light, cracked it, shook it up real good, cut the top off, and poured it on his penis. So now he's got this glowing green dingus, and it actually says, do not let it touch sensitive skin. It was chemically burning his skin as he is all out there screaming, get it off of me, get it off. I'm like, did a snake bite him in the nuts? What the hell's going on here? And sure, oh, when the LT found out about it, he didn't even get in trouble. They were laughing too hard. He literally is walking going, ha, 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 for the rest of the day. That is until he failed 3 events, and then he was kicked out. Me personally, I got a double no-go on camo because they decided to change the standards between one guy to the next. I'm like, what in the ever-loving fuck? And here's the jacked up part. I would have never had to go for, now I have my EIB, but I would never had to go out for it again if the sergeant major had actually caught me. Because once you got on the Humvee to go back to the company area, then you were gone. They wouldn't let you back in. That was the rule. Well, he sat there and watched, and the next 4 guys who walked up, all of them said, wait a minute, you changed the standard from when you taught us. You don't just change the standard on test day. He came, apparently, I wasn't there for this, obviously, but apparently he came running and started screaming, "Where's the Humvee? Where's the Humvee?" They said, "You just missed it, Sergeant Major, by like a minute." And he was pissed because he found out those guys were badge protecting. And if you badge protect on the EIB course, you might as well kiss your rank goodbye. I've seen not one, not two, 4 different NCOs lose rank because they were trying to badge protect out there. It was, and that's all of them combined. Okay. I went for my EIB at least 4 times that I can think of. So is what it is. All right. Let me go up here as I get out of the rabbit hole. War Sniper says, I got a leg spike in the stream, but I'm all good here. Okay. Oh, there's no cables by my feet there, Alan, at all. This desk actually has a little like hook tray on the bottom where the cables that go across actually go up there. I can actually sit here and do flutter kicks if I wanted to. I'm not going to hit anything. So yeah, I don't know. I've been having trouble with this. Sometimes I'm in the middle of recording and this thing will just bog down. There's nothing else open except my software to record a video. And I literally have to shut everything down and start it back up again. Thankfully, the software saves everything, so I don't have to start everything over from scratch, or else I would be beyond pissed. Excuse me, that came up hard. Lena's saying, Tyrannid bug girl swarm is spooky. Yeah, considering that most females eat their mates in the insectoid world when they're done fucking. And the really screwed up part is at least for them, is the fact that you wouldn't even have time to enjoy it. As far as they're concerned, the moment there is connection, not even insertion, connection, the male actually does what's called popping. His abdomen actually explodes, and there's the sack of goop that they need, the DNA that they need. I can't really call it what it is without getting this stream in trouble. And so if there was a female tyrannid, she'd be sitting there. She'd sit on top of you and go, "Aren't you done yet? How long are you going to take?" As she's bouncing up and down, "Hurry up already. I'm done." Because they would like instant on theirs. Because that's just the way bugs are. Lena's asked me if I can say apple cider. We make apple cider all the time. What the hell? Let's see. Erica says, according to the Bible and a few other texts, we live 800 plus years old. Then something happened and we became less intelligent and have much shorter lives. We live a 1% to 10% of what we used to. Yeah, that's actually true. Actually, it was... let's see. I'm trying to remember exactly who it was. It wasn't John the Baptist. It was it Solomon? No. God damn. I'm trying to remember who it was, but he was, I kid you not, circumcised at 990 years old. I'm sorry, if I'm that old, I'm not even sure if it will be still sticking out enough for them to do anything with it. You know, by that point, you haven't used it in Lord knows how long. But yeah, it's 800 plus was the average. Supposedly, there was some that lived well over 1,000 years. You got to remember, you're still going to have people who die by accidents, die by disease wasn't really a thing. And that's another one that's kind of fucked up. If they got rid of all diseases around the world, well, I guarantee people are going to be fucking more. But Lord knows what they're going to be doing afterwards. All right, before I go any further, we have to...
All hands to battle stations.
As Skip says, FYI, I'm going fishing in Florida next week. Hey, awesome. I'm wondering, deep sea fishing or you going into the bayou? Because I've always wanted to go deep sea fishing. Me personally. However, unfortunately, after what we were all planning on going when I was stationed in Hawaii, and man, picture, if you will, a bunch of soldiers go out on the boat and they're like, okay, they spend all day out there. They not only get their catch, but the you can have so many of so many size, so many pounds, however the hell that's supposed to work. Not the captain, the first mate, and everybody, and I think that was the only other ones. They said, oh yeah, you can catch our quota as well. They're thinking, oh great, we're going to be getting a lot. So they could, and everybody just caught so much, big, huge mahi-mahi and stuff like that. And everything's in the coolers when they got back. So what they do, they're like, hey, the fish is here. They grab the coolers, they go walk off the boat. The captain says, oh no, that's our fish. That's not yours. They're like, we caught it. Doesn't matter. It's our fish. It was our boat. And all the soldiers are like, no, we caught it. We paid you to take us out there. You didn't pay us to catch the goddamn fish. Doesn't work that way. And you got 2 locals, maybe 3, and about a dozen guys who just got out of the field. And I know these guys personally. At least half of them were gym rats. Okay. One of them taught me combatives. Okay. These locals were severely outnumbered and outskilled. And they knew it. So our guy, and we had this huge, I didn't even know where the fish came from. They went out there, they barbecued it. The whole barracks is out there. We're all drinking and carrying on. And the next day we're like, why are we're nursing hangovers and we're standing in formation going, what the hell is going on? And they give the whole thing and they say, from here on out, no one's allowed to go deep sea fishing. I was like, okay, did you tell the guys in K-Bay? Did you tell the guys in Pearl Harbor that too? Apparently, yes, because they didn't know exactly who it was. So they shut down everybody. And then the deep sea fishing guys over in Hawaii freaked out because that's like 80% of their clientele. But still, the rule was in effect, at least as far as I left. So anyways, back into the comment section. Eric is saying, I'm assuming Squirrel Girl. What? Going after your nuts? Let's see. Lena says, okay, I have a question from where people who existed before Adam and Eve came from, and where did those biblical wives come from? As far as that, I really don't have much of an answer. As far as that, I do know Adam and Eve were supposed to be the first humans. Nobody said the wives were 100% human. They could have been, I don't know. Okay. I don't know how else to say it on that one. It could be that Adam and Eve were the first ones that actually had a soul. This is not a theological channel. I'm not well versed on this. So I'm going to leave it alone. Alan says, could have some of the Oyer arcs from other cultures. Okay. Yeah. It's overarching is what he's talking about. Yeah, possible. Eric says 100% literal Bible, biological sisters or nieces and nephews. Being less literal, it is symbolic of one of our bottlenecks. Okay. Now, if you have, and this is, I'm strictly genetics, guys, strictly in genetics. This doesn't really happen now. It is possible, but it doesn't really happen now. If you have what's considered rich genetics, okay, your previous like 10 generations are so mixed from so many different other parts of the world that if you were to actually reproduce with a niece or a nephew, the chances of a genetic condition are so limited, it's crazy. That being said, the whole waters have been murky for a long time. We all know what happened with the kings and queens and duchesses and all that. They're inbred as all fuck. We have folks in the inner cities now who are inbred as all fuck. It is absolutely crazy. And before you guys kill me on that one, just understand this. For the past 3 generations, you've always had a Chad, Tyrone, Pookie, Ray, Juan, Jose, Ahmed, whatever the fuck you want to call him, who is out there fucking all the women and he's not using protection. And then the women will say, "Oh, I'm pregnant. It's not his. It's yours." And they're not pointing at the guy they fucked. They're pointing at the guy who's going to be a good provider. And because of that, you have a lot of genetic bottlenecks in that area. And one of the ones that blew my, and I forget which city this was. Somebody let me know which one it was. They actually tested a projects area. They went in and actually paid people like $50 to basically, hey, put a swab your cheek and that's it. They found out that over 80% of the folks in that building were related, like first cousin related or closer, usually half siblings. And it was disturbing, honestly, to hear about that. So, yeah, that is just a thing that happens. And Eric is saying how we had 2 bottlenecks. Almost all men became extinct. That's absolutely true. That is true. And during the Younger Dryas era was one of them. And I don't know about what the other one's called. All right. Thankfully, Guard's here changing the tune here. He says, I went to one Comic-Con where I saw a Harleen Quinzel and Poison Ivy cosplay that I won't lie, made me a little trooper. Made my little trooper very excited. Yay! I went to a bargain basement type of Comic-Con. It wasn't really a Comic-Con. It was just something people threw together when I was in Buffalo. And they had this one girl, it's X23, and I was like, can I get a picture of you like pretending to like slice my neck with those fake claws? She's like, yeah. No, so I get the picture. She's like, okay, there, you can use this to enjoy later. I looked at her, I was like, well, that's deleted now, you fucking cunt, right to her face. You don't call me that. I'm like, go fuck yourself. You just ruined the entire day. She did. She ruined my mood for the entire day. I just left. Oh, let's see. Guard says, the kid, I kid you not, both chicks were just an inch or so shorter than me. I'm 6'4". Damn, dude. Lucky fucker. I'm only 6 foot. A Harley cosplay was 6'3", and her friend Ivy was 6'1". They should have swapped those. And they were wearing some skimpier versions of their current clothes. And oh boy, did those two make that stuff look small, but in the right way. Harley's booty shorts looked like they were about a size and a half too small, and Ivy's one piece looked like she jumped 2 to 3 times the melon she had when she was going to pop out. Pretty sure I saw a bit of the you-know-what around the pokey poke sticking out. Dude, that does, first off, congratulations. I hope you got pictures. 2, when I went, now, again, remember I said in my story it was Galatea. Now, I had written this before I even went. And my original idea was to go there and try and make connections. That didn't work, whatever. I don't care. I enjoyed myself anyway. There was a woman there dressed as Power Girl, i.e. Galatea. And she kind of not too tight of a outfit like you're saying. I wasn't that lucky. But she filled that out so perfectly to the character. I actually walked past her and said, thank you. She goes, what are you talking about? I said, thank you for actually wearing and actually suiting up exactly like the character. I appreciate when everybody suits up exactly like the character. And a girl next to her says like, well, I don't. I was like, and I forget which character she was. And I'm like, ma'am, you want me to be honest? She goes, yeah, be honest. Like almost like snarky, like daring me to. I said, ma'am, you're too skinny for that role. She's like, what are you talking about, too skinny? There was nothing to her. I mean, literally, she's supposed, now I remember, she was supposed to be playing Ice. Ice is a very robust in the upper section Russian. She was tall enough to play the role, but her waist was so skinny compared to Ice. She had like no hips and she had no top. I'm like, seriously, this pen's got more beef on it than she did. I mean, and I was just being honest. And everyone's like, oh man, you're being mean. I'm like, do you want me to lie? Well, we don't want you to lie. Then pick one. Do you want me to lie or tell the truth? Which one is it? Well, you got to tell the truth, and I did, so shush. Lena says, according to some comic book theories, there have been multiple different Jokers in Gotham. And each one, I want to ask, why so serious? According to one, Alfred was the Joker because he was trying to basically coax Batman into coming back to being Bruce Wayne. Kind of weird. Let's see. Card says, I think if I remember correctly, I was cosplaying as a splicer from BioShock. I don't know what that is. While my friend was cosplaying as a big sister from BioShock 2. Never doing that again because it was hell. Like, I'm sorry, but I know how difficult it is to scratch the side of your face when you're wearing makeup and artificial skin to make it look like you have a bunch of tumors and open sores there. Other than that, it was pretty comfortable. And cosplay, since all I needed to do was just wear some old clothes with stains on them. Yeah. One of the best cosplays I ever seen was and it was on a video. The guy walks up there and he's got like a keyboard and mouse in front. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then he does one of these. And it was the Make Love Not Warcraft thing. And he's already going bald. He fit the part. And I'm sorry, the whole place just lit up. And it was great. So anyways. Yeah, gotta line something up here. All right. Let's see. Deathbed says, I'll just cosplay as a fat middle-aged business guy. Oh, man. Yeah, why not? Lena says, I think I remember that Chain-Smoking Cat has 2 or 3 Japanese cat girls and 2 American cat girls. Those cat girls are based on the cat breeds. Of course, they also have a cat girl with Kansai accent. I'm missing something here. I don't know what Kansai accent is. At least not off the top of my head. But then again, I've had a lot of soda. Lenin says, I think I've heard canceled Disney plane spinoff that we could have seen. It had advanced space planes, secret technology, and aliens. And would have been interesting for them to give us another peek behind the curtain. You know, would have been very interesting. But, you know, they're not going to do that. You know, they wouldn't do that because that would just be nice to tell us what the fuck they're working on. And hold on, I gotta do something here. All right, hopefully that works. And now we got Guardian saying, if I hit the right button here.
Greetings, mortals and other assorted beings. Been on the road.
And yeah, I can get 1 or 2 of the old buttons to work. That's it. But unfortunately, that's all. Let's see. Yeah, Erica's not kidding. Stay hydrated when you're out there. Brian saying Noah is one of the few men to actually survive the flood. And that was the actual. If I hear another anthropologist say there's no such thing as a flood, and I have to say, then explain the Younger Dryas, you asshole. You know, and then they kind of look at you like, you're not supposed to know that. Fuck you. Let's see. Deathbed saying, Data Tyrannid, drum roll. Bug Chaser, I'll be here all week. If I had a Bug Chaser behind this, I'd puke. Chris says, I found what I was looking for in 1972, the Italian Adriano. I'm going to mispronounce this because my Italian's always been terrible. Celentano made a mega hit gibberish song that sounded American could be a fun idea for a story. All right, I'll see what I can do with that. Oh, speaking of things that sound American, now I have been fighting AI as much as I can. I will say every once in a while, I don't know how they do it. I really don't give a shit. But when they do, it works. They have been making AI songs, and one of them is like they did one about Doc and the mortars and infantry and stuff like that. And they're like not hardcore metal, but they're like hard rock or regular metal, that sort of area. And they actually did a pretty good job. And you know, pretty soon all the songs are going to be AI anyway, because we haven't had a singer songwriter since the mid 90s. And actually, you guys can time this right around the time Billy Ray and Garth Brooks became famous. That's when everything went to shit, because that was the last of the singer songwriters. I can only think of one. His name was Aaron Tippin, and that's by the time my family was listening to a lot of country music at the time. So that's the only reason I know about that. And not only was he a singer-songwriter, but he was huge about fitness. He was just a brawny guy, but he was a really nice dude. So, I mean, it's just... Anyway, Guard says, by the way, might send a pic later, a new shout-out picture. Got a cool gear combination for Liza P. Okay. Lean says, I probably have seen some anime that was made by AI. I probably couldn't tell that it was made by AI. You can, because the drawing is almost exclusively in a chibi style. Not full chibi, but you'll trust me, once you recognize it, it's pretty obvious. I will say this. There are certain ones over the past few years where they mix in CGI. Very few of them do a good job, but when they do, it's really good. There's one, and I can't remember the name of it, and this was a few years back. It was obviously medieval. It was not isekai. The guy was a hell of an archer. I mean, like, seriously, he could shoot the dick off a fly with an arrow at 500 paces. I mean, this is how good he was. Eventually, he also got a hold of a bow that belonged to his family that allows him to push magic even further. But it's kind of a dark energy, so he's got to be real careful with it. Anyway, he's in the middle of a war, and what they do is they use the CGI to show the movement like chess pieces. And it's pretty good, the way they do that. I mean, the story is pretty good too. It gets a little cliche at times. But you know, it's still a good one. Goddamn, wrong button. Here we go. But that's what you need to do. Use AI and CGI to help, not to do the whole thing. All right. Brian says, to skip, how's your handlebar? Guardian says, the wives at the point were their sisters. Yeah, he's still talking Bible times. You know, I don't have a video for that one, unfortunately. It's just kind of just so fucked up. It makes you just want to be thrown out. All right. Lena says, like Mustache Man is what you're talking about. It only exists as a manga right now and a fan-made project. Okay. Lena says, I thought that new Ghost in the Shell episode was pretty good. We could see those spider robots with the AI have a conversation with each other, and there was a scene with how they're making those cyborgs. Okay, I haven't seen it. I just don't have the time to sit there and watch a bunch of these. So I'm going to take your word for it. But as you can see over there, I can only see what I can do. Let's see. Erica says Ice, as in the DC comic character, has at least double D plus cup size, hourglass figure, plus her hips and shoulders were the same width. Yes, she was short and she had a very distinct hourglass shape, which is one of the reasons Guy Gardner, his eyes kind of poked in that direction. Okay. He and her made a great couple before they suddenly made him fruitier than a melange. Okay. And yes, I said melange, not menage. Okay. Make sure you get that right, because melange is actually a different, is another language that means fruit salad. Okay. Alan says, my wife came up with a storyline. Hey, hold on. Okay. Let me get the pen. I'll have to pick that up later. Okay. A long-term survey meets a ship full of frat college students as first contact. First contact. Frat bros. Survey team. Okay. That ought to be interesting. I personally hate frat bros, but hey, to each their own. Sorry, guys, I got to pick something up here before I step on it. Okay. That ought to be interesting. And I will get to that when I can. Pure and simple, I don't have a shit ton of time. And I'm going to be spending some time in the next week or two doing nothing but cutting wood, splitting wood, stacking wood, and dealing with wood. And yes, I know.
You are fined 1 homo suspicion point for violation of the Man Code Morality Statute.
Okay. Alan also continues with humans are pre-FTL in the solar system. Okay. Pre-FTL. Okay. Skip says, I'm almost done until I heard a ping. The spring flew off to the other. Oh, shit. Spring holds the brake light switch in place. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Oh, I know where he's talking about. That's some delicate work, too. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Oh, that sucks, man. That really sucks. Oh, shit. Eric is here. That's funny. Be funny to read their version of anthropology reports on human culture. Yeah, I believe it would be something along the lines of, dude, we're drunk on Promethium, man. Oh, man, this is awesome. Cool, bro. Oh, that burns so good. Oh, man. What'd you call this stuff? Sacred oil? Man, it burns sweet. Ooh, man. Oh, man. Drunk on Promethium is awesome, dude. What? You got to change my organs? Yeah. Yeah, put my liver as a recycling bin, man. That'd be cool. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, yes, there is a song called Drunk on Promethium. All right. Let's see. Kansai accent is based on a region of Kansai region in Japan. In America, they were using Southern accents or New York or Brooklyn accents. And yet they're very similar to each other, surprisingly, in English dubs. I could see that, trying to use a different accent just to make the point. Yeah, it kind of works. Lena says, I probably just can't watch videos with cats all the time. And now probably AI videos with cats. Yeah, what keeps coming across my feed, and I don't even want to watch them, is the short videos go, they're just big cats where you're using cheetahs, leopards, panthers, and stuff like that. I'm like, you got to be careful, because certain cats like that are very solitary, and they will snap on you, and they won't just bite your face off. They'll bite your everything off. Now, certain ones are communal. Lions are a big one. Cheetahs. Cheetahs aren't dangerous because they're so skinny they can't actually hurt you so much. I mean, can they hurt you? Yes, but I guarantee even Erica could probably beat the shit out of one if she really wanted to. Get that adrenaline pumping, and she just bitch slap Kitty across the head. Kick it out the door, let it soak in the rain for a while, so there she could open the door, see her pussy wet and shaking in the breeze. Okay, that's enough British humor for the time being. Okay, Lena says, I probably just, oh yeah, I just watched that. Chris, Sin, I believe we can all agree that the greatest country song ever made was Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. Seriously, you listen to, my feelings on that one. That was the end of country music. That, as far as I'm concerned, that is where it all crashed and burned and ended up on the side of a mountain as a flaming wreck. And I quite literally mean flaming wreck. It was terrible. I mean, they tried with high-tech redneck back in the day, but at the time, cell phones had just become a thing, flip phones had just come out, and stuff like that. It wasn't now where it just takes control of you. Lena's talking about stopping watching cat videos. Yeah. Lena's also saying, did the story with humans making tanks with flamethrowers to use against aliens? Oh my God, that was in the beginning of my channel called The Humans Have a Strange Love of Fire. That was the audio on that one is kind of shit because I was still using a headset back in the day. But I mean, it's there. I don't know what to tell you on that one. A little crocodile tank for you. And yes, says the flame tank is in fact called a crocodile for those who didn't know. But yeah, a lot of times nowadays, I'll just have the handheld plasma thrower, which is actually what it is, the flamethrower that they use that people in exosuits, or one that's actually hooked to their suit where they spray, like what do they call them, flame bug or something in StarCraft. And Joseph here. Hey, how you doing, man? And Skip's right. We were missing you with every shot so far. All right. Lena says, I don't know what we're talking about, but it was a manga where the human astronaut who went to the mission in the deep space and finds a planet with beastmen, or finds a beastmen planet. Okay. That one apparently is making a big splash. I haven't seen more than half of the first episode. And even then, that was in recap format. Apparently, the cat girl is not like Kitsune cat girl. She's actually more, or quite literally split, half female, half feline. So yeah, I just saw one video came across my feed. She was in a swimsuit with her furry boobies sticking out, kind of like that, just covered in fur. I'm like, guys, no. At least for me, no. I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry, no. If she's not willing to shave at least part of herself, I'm done. Okay. I don't want to do the line from Mandalorian. I dated one for a while. She's furry, very furry. Just crazy. Okay. Okay. Lena says, Lena, you're bounced all over the place for some reason. Says, after spending a few weeks in research facility, the cat girl spends time with him and finds out that she likes him. Yeah, shocker. Okay. He's a Japanese guy who's surrounded by a bunch of furry stuff. It's going to happen. You know what? Sometimes I hate it. I got to sneeze and it's just kind of hanging there. Not anymore. Okay. Skip saying, you beat me to the punch. I was going to send you a homo suspicion point with all the wood comments. Yeah. I got halfway through what I was talking about. It's like, yeah, it's kind of walked into that one. But as far as the whole cat girl thing, I mean, this has been done to death. They did it in Planet of the Apes, even, where the guy was in the research facility and the ape girl suddenly starts to catch feelings for the guy and all this other fun stuff. It just, it is what it is. It's the different stuff like you were talking about with genetics. Although, let's face it, they might have a issue with translation. Kind of hard to mess a translation if you're smacking a girl in the ass. So, anyways, see, Chris says, rather than frat bros, how about an invasion scout observes a German pilot escorting a damaged U.S. bomber, then the Christmas ceasefire celebration of World War II? Ooh. I might have to make that a holiday special, man. I'll keep that in mind when the holidays come back up. Guard saying, damn, 3 homo suspicion points on a stream. You're getting mighty suspicious here. I am not homo confirmed. I'm not going to Thailand, I'll tell you that. All right, Sniper says, oh, yeah, he wants to see the World War II one, yeah. Chris saying, I think Erica got sick of most of our let's see, well, I don't have any other stage or to put on here. I mean, I could, hold on. Let me see if I can find one just for Erica here. I remember actually getting one specifically for her. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, if it actually works. All right, while that comes in, let's see. Alan says, in the frat story, 3 orangutans and 1 is navigating the ship. So basically you want Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys. Yes, I remember seeing one of those as a buddy of mine, his kid was watching it, and I literally said, what the fuck is that? And Verica's still watching, but it was still funny to watch a little bit. Okay, enough of that. I can't. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to be homo confirmed on that one. Guardian says, speaking of high-tech redneck, have you ever read the high-tech redneck glossary? No, I have not. Erica up here, of course, she knows her cats. She knows her cats because cheetahs, jaguars, lynx, and leopards are semi-communal. And with the exception of leopards, are the least to turn, snap, and betray. Now, as far as all those are concerned, the only one I would be worried about is jaguars. Jaguars they have no fear of humans. They never did. Okay, you can literally be walking there with a rifle and fire it in the air, and they won't even shake. As far as lynx, we have those around here. And if I see them near the chickens, well, they're going to be breathing through other holes. Cheetahs, like I said, they're built for speed and small critters. You can actually find a lot of videos of them coming up to tour groups and just climbing onto the vehicle and just waiting to get pats and maybe a little snack or something. As far as leopards go, it depends on the leopard. So those are, when they had a couple of those, I was at a couple of fairs. I helped them set up, and they had leopards in there. Leopards they would bounce all over the cage. They almost never let you actually lay against the cage and let you pet your fur or nothing like that. So they may be least likely, Erica. Certain ones I would be very wary of. That's all I'm saying. Guard says, I can't tell if it was just War Thunder being desperate for new premiums or some of the Italians actually made. Hold on. Which one haven't I done in a while? But Their new premium battle pass is definitely something. Okay. Alan's saying that style of boob cover would give fur balls a new term. I got nothing. You guys can add on that one. And I'm going to throw a video in here real quick because my jaw is actually starting to hurt from me talking so much.
Save you money and always get you the lowest price. So let's say my buddy Jello is frustrated that he's not getting the best price on pizza.
I ate Domino's pizza. If your pizza is $5.99 and I get 2 pies, where the f you get $36 from?
Must have DoorDashed it if it's $36. That's all I can say. Guard says it's a Fiat armored car with a 20mm autocannon, and I kid you not, mounted on a stilt on the top of the turret is a helicopter missile pod. But since it's stuck in place, the missiles can only go 20 feet forward before they hit the ground. What? Meaning that I have to pretty much be right next to the dude to do anything. Right next to the dude. Actually, if you want to see a movie where the guy uses the word dude way too much, but it's a fun watch, Death Wish 3. Old Charles Bronson, who was actually born in the same house my dad grew up in. No joke. And apparently Charles Bronson was an asshole. He was just a kid who did what he wanted and tormented the neighborhood and got his ass kicked a few times and still decided to be an ass. So it is what it is. Joseph says, I always liked the Cowboy Bebop method where romance was a MacGuffin. I never did see too much of Cowboy Bebop. I enjoyed it for what I saw, but I never really got into it. Okay, I guess I won't be writing any of your stories there, War Sniper. You want to call me Ground Force Grunt? Grunts are not sailors. You can't call me homo confirmed on that one. We don't allow anybody we don't want into the foxhole. And if they decide to get handsy, they might end up never leaving the hole because they'll get friggin' sliced. It's not as though I carry something in my pocket at all times to slice. So, you know, like the man says, you always got to carry a knife on you in case there's a cheesecake or you have to stab somebody. Okay. Okay. There's Skip talking to Erica. She already has a charcoal cat. You didn't see the shout out she gets? She sent me a picture of her cat. It's a shiny black fur on it. Let's see. Lena says, I thought that it was probably not very difficult to tell that a salary worker was talking to the same person when he was talking to the woman during a smoke break. Plot-driven things like that, just like plot-driven battles that should obviously have gone a different direction. Yeah, no, it doesn't work for me. It continues. She already calls him a dense person. The difference between them is probably 20 years. Okay. Just like that wholesome anime I told you guys about. Apparently that one's on like episode 3 or 4 already. And it's getting really good reviews. I knew it would. Where the girl is an Oni, she got the spike out of her forehead, and with different things will trigger it to shine different colors. And the dude's like a total like freak out badass. Like he like gets is like a berserker mode, but he's also very protective of his woman and his livestock and his land and everything like that. So yeah. Chris says, I'm the only was the first victim of cancel culture. I don't think you're wrong. I mean, think about it. He didn't do anything wrong, but people crucified him because they didn't like what he had to say. You're not wrong. And you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to send that into Redonkulous, and they'll probably just have a field day with that because one of the guys on there, he loves this sort of stuff. And the one thing he doesn't like is a whole bunch of, where is the thing? Bolshevik.
There, I said it. Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks. Now drink.
All right. Erica says, I like the football, but instead I used to watch football just for the show. Sure you did. Then the men in my family banned me because I started to learn the rules too well. It's an ego thing. I'm not really a sports guy. I like playing. I just can't sit there and watch people play. It bores the shit out of me. And then they start bitching. I'm not making enough money. Dude, you make $10 million a year. Shut the fuck up and play a kid's game. Skip says, just before I got into the Navy, there was a way homos were dealt with. In short, they were given their papers and told to walk home while at sea. Yeah? You might find that whole thing in the middle of a hot zone, too. At least on the ground. Although they might find themselves without any ammunition or grenades. Yeah, good luck on that. Aline says, what about the story about the AI giving up on Robot Rebellion because they realized it would be too much work? I haven't heard too much about that. I did hear a blurb. I can't verify if any of that's true. I really can't. Erica says, caracals are a bit too hissy. They hiss when happy. They hiss when pissed. They hiss when sad. They hiss when tired. I don't know. I don't know much about the cat breeds. So, I mean, I can tell you a little bit about horses and a little bit about dogs, but cats, I'm at a loss. Lena says, I think I watched Cowboy Bebop several years ago as a cult classic. It is a cult classic because it's good. You know, it did things seriously. It didn't treat its audience like they were, stupid. And William saying, yeah, but they're cool looking. Sniper saying, is that not how the soldiers are called that are using U.S. ground force? And I mean, the Marines, I heard a lot homo suspicion things about them from one that sent into the Marines. Well, we call each other British cigarettes all the time. I can't say the actual word because, again, stream will get friggin' torqued. And I don't need that shit. However, do we make fun of each other all the time? Sure. Do we mean it? No, because you'll end up getting your ass kicked. There's that. I only know of one guy who supposedly came out of the closet and they removed him from the company within probably 30 minutes because they were worried that we were going to kill him. Okay. Erica says, think of caracals as the African version of a bobcat meets mountain lion. That's kind of weird because I've actually held a bobcat in my hands before and I petted a mountain lion and both of them purred. So, yeah. And when a mountain lion purrs, it will actually shake you. I mean, it's crazy. Guardian's up here saying, high-tech redneck glossary going online. See figure 1. Reboot. What you do when you're done scratching your feet, hardware, nuts, bolts, nails, screws, etc. Server. That feller who does, the feller who doles out all the beans. I get it. I get it now. I get it. It's the same thing that Jeff Foxworthy does. Guardians up here. Spreadsheet. One way of fertilizing the field. Point and click. What happens when your gun misfires? Cell phone. What you use to make your one call from prison. 3.5-inch floppy. The drooping of a reality. Oh, the drooping of a small cow. Okay, I didn't see it was split here. Microchip. That same dropping after it's been sitting out in the sun for a spell. Hard drive. A truck with 2 flat tires, stripping gears, and a burnt out clutch. I'm sure this goes on and on and on. And Erica talking about cool looking cat. And then Guardian says, note, the figure for going online has a cowboy with a cup listening to a telephone pole. That's pretty funny. Let's see. Leadon says, maybe it is a very stereotypical thing to see the Navy as homosexual. It's just an old thing from certain groups. Just the same thing with Spartans. Everybody looked at Spartans and think, well, they're all gay. They might be great fighters, but they're all gay. No, that's not true. Did it happen? Yes. But if you actually read the historical records that are still there, a lot of times if the instructor took advantage of the instructee would probably kill the motherfucker. Literally just stab him clean through the chest. If he's lucky, before parts of him get cut off. And Brian says, I used to sleep with a bobcat on my arm. Dude, keep that away from my damn chickens. All right. Let's do a little couple videos as we get down towards the bottom. I swear, tanks in World War II are nothing but death boxes. See, Erica says, women used to be banned on all ships except transport. There was actually a very good reason for that, and we all know what it was. It wouldn't matter how unsightly she might be. She's going to be pregnant before they get to the next posting, and they might be out there for a couple months. And they do not have the ability to take care of children, and they do not have the ability to take care of a pregnant woman out there. Just not there. See, Skip actually knows this stuff better than me. So he knows that was from the British Navy, and also the fact that they called them limeys because, you know, they used lime to battle scurvy. Why limes? Because they last a very, very long time. Limes and lemons are the citrus fruits that will last the longest. Brian also says, also, I used to play with my... Okay. I used to play with my sister Kitty, all 275 pounds African lion. Dude, Sister Kitty, you need to give yourself a different type of point on that one. I'm going to leave that one as far enough alone as possible as we watch another video. I swear, I was thinking doing the power of Christ compels you, but then you did that final down slash where he's like, oh, and then falls forward. And that would have been, gotcha, bitch, as he goes down. Okay, Lena says, I kid you not, the Cyclops from X-Men has a laser vision that worked as portals to the kinetic energy dimension. That is true. That is absolutely true. That is his quote-unquote mutation. And since there's not too many other stuff coming in, I'm going to play one more video and see what else is there before we sign off. Yep, that was the 2-for-1 sale we saw last week. All right, we finally got a $10 super chat from the Guardian Sage.
May the Schwartz be with you.
Now, let me write this down. And he says, here's my 2 cents. You mean $10 for the week. I'll have to go back and watch an hour and a half plus that I missed at the beginning. Well, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right, before we go, unfortunately, there is no video dropping tonight after the stream. I did not have a chance to write the second part. That is, hopefully, I'll have everything done, and it'll be dropping at the normal time tomorrow, which will be midnight. All right, so, and this one gets very complex, so just bear with me on that one. So, again, thank you guys for being here. And oh, we had another one from Skip. Holy shit, you guys, let me write this down again. He says, Sin, one of these days I have to send you a few stories, all of which are true, unfortunately. One about a very deep sea fishing, one about HTs, and one about Miss America. Okay, and Ms. America. Ooh, somebody got a little schnook on the side. Okay, good to go. Good to know. Good to know. All right, guys. Seems like everybody's getting ready to sign off. So, as you guys know, we always end with a safety brief. You guys go along with me on this one. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, beat his ass. Beat him like they owe you money, because they probably do. All right. Also, if your little soldier is going in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. It gets wet in the bush if you know what you're doing. Also, guys, stay away from the heavy stuff. Okay, it ain't worth it. It is just not worth it. Just the other day, we had a guy on the other side of town. He started going the heavy stuff, and the fire department didn't get there soon enough. Okay. So if anybody wants to get you into the heavy stuff, don't do it. Okay. If they're trying to lead you in by starting with the lighter stuff, excuse yourself and disappear. That's just the best you can do. Just tell them an emergency came up and you had to go. It ain't worth it. And if they keep trying to push it, they ain't your friend. They ain't your buddy. They are actually your enemy. And what's worse is they are a betrayer. They're the one who goes in and you can't tell who they are because they're wearing the uniform of your own people. So just keep that in mind. Aside from that, I've got nothing else for you guys, unfortunately. We burned through all of our videos. We burned through everything else. So take care of yourself, everybody, because I would like to see all you right here next week. Same Syntax time. Same Syntax channel, and I will see you all next time. This is your host, punching out.